Hey, howdy, hey, y'all, or, howdy, fuckers, whatever mood you're feeling in today. Workbook Wednesdays. Got my trusty doodly doo here. Sir, please lay down. You're a good boy. So, again, Workbook Wednesday, and I don't have any therapy this week, so I'm going to let out a bit about my week. Windows are open. It's a really nice day, so sorry if it gets too much. I will go ahead and close the windows. But we got our BPD deck and the DBT deck. Yay. So I'm going to pull out a DBT skill. I want to go over these cards and a skill set first and then get into my day. So maybe I can hopefully apply the skill I'm learning. We are learning. All of us are learning. First, so I want to do my DBT skill and then I'll pull out a BPD card. And maybe I'll go through the workbook after I kind of share my week a little bit. So this may go a little longer, maybe not. I do talk really fast. So I'm going to grab a card, and it is okay. Smell. Yeah, I will attempt to see how we're going to use this. So the DBT skill is smell. Invest in aromatherapy, essential oils, or how-to instructions on the internet for creating your own aromatherapy oils. Put on a favorite perfume or lotion or bake to fill your home with pleasant smells. Pick out household products that feature relaxing scents, which is funny because I actually have both my candles going today. Need a little more. Wanted to set a mood, definitely set an atmosphere because I did have a hard week. So hopefully these smells will soon be fulfilling my house. But if not, I do have the fresh outdoors, which I always love, being able to have a fresh breeze come through the house. All right, so BPD, what we're all here for, maybe some of us, I don't know. This hurts my hands. Next week, actually on my father's birthday, I will be going to get my hands MRI'd, I believe. Yeah, MRI'd. Sorry, I'm having a bad hair day. I'm going to get an MRI done on my hands. Hopefully see once and for all. Once and for all. What is going on with my hands, which really sucks because I used to do court reporting. And it was one thing my mother pushed me into, which actually is pretty good at succeeding in, until my hands. So, oh no. Embracing your worth. Ew. Sorry. That was gross. My fingernails are gross. Yards, dogs, animals. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Your BPD may tell you you're not valuable enough to connect with others. So funny. That's trickery. Challenge those statements. Write down on sticky notes things that are special and unique about you. Put them on your bathroom mirror or take a picture on your phone. Look at them and often to embrace your worth. So this hits a lot because it actually is things I was talking about with my massage therapist today. I actually had a whole host of things done today, which is actually quite nice. And I might keep doing this on Wednesdays and just do a whole self-care day because I got, oh no, she's going to be so mad when I don't say the right procedure. But I went and saw my friend who is almost finishing school, hopefully. His lashes are kicking her butt. But, and doing a facial. Oh my God. It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm so sorry. Then I went and got a massage at my chiro place. And right after the massage, got chiro done. So I was talking to the massage therapist. And she made a mention of saying, hi, it's me, I'm the problem. Which is many variations. I actually have it on my iPad as a sticker. It says, hello, I'm the problem. So it's many different variations of that for the T-Swizzle song, Antihero. And I said, man, when she really hit that line, I'll still stare directly into the sun, but not in the mirror. Hits really, really, really hard. And I think that hits hard for most people, even though they don't want to admit it. And it's not about being vain at all, but just accepting who you are without having so much social structure tied to it. And I was saying, yeah, I was like, I don't look at my mirror. I have stuff written on them. So I look at the words, and I made a face, because I always make a face about radical acceptance and accepting my worth, my value, because, once you've been beaten down and trodden on for so long, you really, really don't see anything worthwhile for you. So I do, because of now realizing I'm living in PTSD, I do have on my mirror that I am safe. And I wrote, you have value, or you have worth. I don't always say that to myself, but at least I can read it. And it really does start with these little itty bitty things. And for me, I realized as I was getting work done on my face that, I could be appreciative that I don't have a lot of problems as other people do with really oily skin or really dry skin. I'm right in that Goldilocks, just so I don't have to do as much work or, try or feel as self-conscious as other people may feel. So maybe that's a little something I can be appreciated for, that, that's not on my mind. And then know that that empathy, that it's not on me, but it is on others, and knowing that it is probably just as stressful for them, despite what their facial issues could be breaking out, could be hair growth, could, like me getting my face shaved today. I have a love-hate relationship with my eyebrows. Everyone else loves my eyebrows. I hate my eyebrows. But I did overpluck them, and maybe I'll post a picture later in the community tab of me with super, super overplucked eyebrows. It's okay, they're playing. Bowie, it's okay. You had to go bye-bye. It's okay. And I could be grateful that they grew back, even though I got picked on all the time for having eyebrows that connected, having really thick eyebrows. Please lay down, doodly-doo. If you're going to be back here, I need you to lay down. Lay down. No. Lay down. Lay down. Thank you. Lay down. No. No, weirdo. No. Now. I can embrace the fact that my hair takes color, that I'm actually able to do all of this with my hair and it still be healthy, where other people don't have those options. And once I start finding these little things to be grateful for, it opens my heart up for more compassion for other struggles, because I still have my own struggles. I create too much vitamin D, so I have chicken skin, or I don't know. It's called so many different things, but basically I have bumps on my arms and on my thighs. Everyone always thought I was cold. Like, oh, you're so cold. I was like, yeah, I'm cold. Please don't touch my arms ever again. So I didn't care for people touching me, because I always thought they're going to know that I have something different. My skin's not smooth, which is why I pick. My skin's not smooth like other people's, so they're going to automatically think I don't fit in. They're going to make fun of me because, gosh, I got made fun of for my last name being a color. I got made fun of because when I was 6 and I followed my teeth up to my nose and then they grew in all funky. By the time I got to third or fourth grade, and I got called bucktooth beaver green, bucktooth beaver brown, like step on me. Ugh. Elementary school was so fun. I mean, it was actually really fun. But yeah, kids are kids. They're going to be kids. Tough skin, right? So I will try to reflect on smell in the situations. It's also a very good mindfulness technique to calm yourself, especially when you're doing nice, big, heavy, deep in and outs through your nose, yoga breathing, right? Embracing your worth. I struggle with this, and I know a lot of other people struggle with this. I think everyone I know actually struggles with embracing your worth, be it a new mom, be it a supporting partner, be it a black sheep of the family trying to break the mold. It's hard finding your value and living, but not living for yourself in that value, if that makes sense. The little things. Be appreciative of the little things, and then maybe you can start to encompass other things that you never found value in before. Like my laugh. My laugh tells you where I am exactly. So hopefully, if there's a killer after me, he doesn't tell a lot of one-liners, because he'll get me. Just like Freddy. Freddy, when he slays me. So yeah, I would definitely laugh and give up our position. So don't hide with me ever. So I had a psychiatry appointment this week about being on a medication. And I'm kind of hesitant for it, just for the fact that I don't do well with a lot of medications, and I usually gain weight. I've already gained weight. And so that weight is actually really hard for me to get off because of my fibromyalgia. And like at one point in my relationship, my marriage, I was 155 pounds almost. That's because they had me on a lot of medications, which weren't doing anything but making me gain weight. And when I said they weren't doing anything, the doctor decided, oh, let's double your doses on everything. Yeah, I was not happy. So it's actually a lot happened this week. A lot more than I expected. This is on my BPP. Okay. So I totaled my car back in February. I just found out it was totaled last week. So in the process of this past week, not only looking for cars, taking Ryan to and from work so I can have the extra car or the other car, and running all of the errands until my husband got off. You okay there, Batman? You're okay? You can come up here. It's okay. I know you like being up here with me. So doing a lot of research, getting frustrated because we no longer, once your car is totaled, insurance company says, all right, well, good luck. We already gave you 5 days. You don't get any more. And maybe a check will come, and maybe you can get a car, or maybe you should just go find one on your own. And yeah, whatever the case is, I don't care. So setting up to get a rental, we decided to go into VW because I owned a GTI, and I really liked my GTI. And I also liked a certain somebody's GTI Rabbit back in the day. I really, really want one of those again. I caught you, Batman. I saved your life. So I bring Mr. Doodly Doo here. He is my ESA. And he's got his vest on, he's got his collar on, he's attached to my waist. And we're looking at cars outside. And this place that we're looking at cars has 4 spots for regular parking, 2 spots for handicap parking. And then on each side of the long building, you have parking. And this, while we're outside looking at a Tiguan or something like that, this lady pulls in because my husband didn't have a place to park, so he parked along the side. And he was going to walk me in, introduce me, chit chat with somebody, and then go to work. So he was getting stuff out of the car, my car, to his car. This lady pulls in, looks around, kind of sits there. It's all right. Pulls into the handicap spot. Then I just kind of watch her. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, really? Was that necessary? She didn't even park straight into the handicap spot, mind you. And so I make a comment, not under my breath, that you must be a very terrible person to be in that much of a hurry to take a spot from someone else who needs it. And she kind of heard me because she kind of like stumbled in her tracks, but in a split second decided to continue walking, walked inside, did whatever. And I scoffed and I tried to get my words outside so that way it was a pleasant inside, which did not happen that way. Hi, I'm Stormy. Have we met? Yes, I'm the problem. This is the problem. The fact that I stopped unmasking and now this fight or flight mode switched from flighting to fighting. So I walk in and the lady at the desk, like, that's what we can do for her. And we kind of let her know what was going on. And I made a comment about, the parking situation and how, like, people who aren't disabled shouldn't be parking in a disabled spot. And they're terrible people for doing that. And she whips her head from the other desk that she's standing over while the guy's sitting down doing the work. And she's like, excuse me? And I was like, yes, you're a terrible person. You shouldn't be parked in the handicap spot. Because I did check. Before I went inside, I checked. And I was like, all right, let me check the facts. Let me make sure everything before I get upset. Because I have a really bad trigger with inconsideration for humans. Like, I don't care what you do. I don't care like how you are. You're still a human. You're still part of my community. I still interact with you. And it's the entitlement and the privilege to think that, oh, I'll just be a moment. It doesn't matter. Like, you have no idea what's going to come through that door. You have no idea what other people's lives are like. As granted, she did say, well, she's like, well, how do you know? You don't even know what's going on. And I was like, I don't need to know what's going on because it's not going on your car. And she's like, well, you don't even know. See, ask her. And I was like, ask her what? I don't need to ask her anything. She's like, well, I told her that there was no spaces. I looked for a space. And I was like, you didn't look for a space. You didn't. You just sat there. And she's like, oh yeah, all right, whatever. And I was like, no, it's not a whatever thing. Your privilege and your entitlement allows you to think that you're better than other people to park there. I was like, that's not okay. It's 2024. Like, it's not okay to do these microaggressions just because nobody's here right now. It doesn't matter. We still follow the law. We still follow laws, even though nobody's looking at us. Get out of here. You're not human if you think and react that way. And so just like many people would do when being called out for doing something wrong, I might be a little attitude about it, but I will admit when I'm wrong. And I will absolutely say, just like I did in the building, because I yelled. I didn't yell. I have a strong voice. And so I baritoned my voice. I worked security for so long. You know how to use your vocals, especially being in ROTC. Never forget that. So I'm trying to think what exactly triggered her to say this, but she literally said, you're the reason why I stopped helping people. And I was like, excuse me? I was like, don't blame your shitty attitude and your selfishness on me. I was like, my interaction with you has nothing to do with how I'm going to treat the next person I have an interaction with. I was like, those are your decisions and your choices alone. And she didn't like that. She left, pulled her car out, found a parking spot, and walked in, which is actually a shorter distance to the desk she needed to be at than where she actually had parked. But she couldn't take the second to drive to the side of the building. Drive, not even walk, drive to the side of the building. So she comes back in. I'm sitting down. My husband's standing over next to me. We're chit-chatting. She comes back in and goes, well, I just want you to know. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're not just letting us know anything. And she had stated that she didn't want to talk to me because I don't matter. I don't matter as a person, and that I should have parked there if I have a disability. And I said, I don't need to park there for my disabilities, but other people do. And that's the point. She's like, oh, I feel sorry for your dog. I feel so sorry for your dog. Well, my dog doesn't feel sorry for me, so I don't know what you want. Like, he chooses me every single time. Actually makes my husband upset. Not that he chooses me, that he listens to me. I can easily just say in a sentence, do this, and he has to like say it 5 times, and the dog still won't listen. So yeah, we just got that bond, him and I. Anyways, so she starts walking closer, and she asked to speak to my husband who's standing behind me. And I was like, absolutely not. He goes, no, you're not speaking to me. You're speaking to her. And he turned his back. He knows I can handle myself. And she kept trying to get closer and like make eye contact with him. He was completely turned. So I, as a petty patty, kept, what are you trying to look at? What are you trying to look at? I was like, you don't need to be over here. We don't matter, right? We don't matter. Like, she has no idea, just because she sees my dog, she has no idea what my husband's disabilities are, or that he's 100% disabled from the Army. No, it's okay though. You know, we could apply for disability. We just aren't willing to accept our disabilities. I think that's our issue. So we keep pushing and pushing and pushing, which is why we keep ending up hurting and hurting and hurting ourselves. So she goes to walk away, and she's like, you know what? You didn't even ask. And I was like, yeah. It's like, what do I have to ask when you don't have a sticker? You don't have a placard hanging. You don't have a license plate. You don't have anything on your vehicle that states that you need this spot. Granted, am I being nosy? Absolutely. Can you judge a disability by its look? No, you cannot. This lady was not disabled. This lady was entitled. And it irritated me, and it triggered me. And it was overwhelming. So she said, you know what? You're Karen. And she says, let me record you. So she pulls out her phone and she starts recording me. And so I asked her on camera a good amount of times, do you have a placard? Do you have a placard? Do you have a placard? She did not. She didn't answer. And I said, please answer it, because you don't. You're wrong, and you know you're in the wrong. And instead of taking accountability, you're doing this. Then a manager comes over. Mind you, she's standing at the back of the desk, at the front desk. It has like, you know, that half curve or whatever, filming. I'm on the other side. And a manager comes, and because I'm the strongest voice in this moment, he comes up to me and tells me we need to take a step back. I need to breathe. I need to like just calm the situation down. And I said, you're not going to talk to me that way. You're going to talk to both of us that way. He's like, well, I am. I said, no, you're not. Your back is towards her, towards the one filming, and you're looking directly at me. You're not talking to the two of us. And I don't appreciate that. I said, you want to say something, you say something to the both of us. We are both wrong in this moment for making a racket in your business. That's what needs to happen. Not that the one person who has the stronger voice is in the wrong. Just because a strong voice does not mean I'm in the wrong. totally. I was in the wrong for, disrupting a business. Which I admitted to, and I apologized to. So I said, you know what? That's cool. I'm going to take my Crash VW money, the fact that I'm a customer just as much as she's a customer, but obviously the entitlement over here is more important. I'm going to bounce. So Ryan and I walked outside. We're chit-chatting for a bit. And Mr. Pickle Rick comes out. And I said, oh, are you kicking us off the property now? And he's like, no, I just want to understand what's going on. You wanted to buy a car. You're here looking. I want to help. Of course you want to help, But it calmed me down because I really do like VW. And this place has never done me wrong. They have really great people that work there. It is just a shitty situation at that time for entitlement. And maybe it's entitlement on my end too, but for some reason I have the strong desire to have a voice for the voiceless, which includes animals and children and people who are afraid to just speak. And I'll get to my next situation. So with that, my husband left for work. I went and shopped cars, actually. Bought a car yesterday. Woo! So a few days later, which makes Saturday, I was going to a show with my brother in Tacoma. People go, ew, why? And I go, well, I thought it was going to be a fun cover band of alternative 2K's music, right? That sounds dope. They're going to play a bunch of everything, and it's going to be just them. No DJs for 2.5 hours straight. Like, that's going to rock. I dressed up and went out. And we get there, doors open at 8. We're there like 8:10. So there's a little bit of a line. Not that bad because we get seats. And because this place has bomb-ass nachos, it looked like, but we didn't order any. I was sad about that. But it was the timing that when we left was needed. So as I'm standing in line, chit-chatting with my brother, I think we were talking to the people behind us, the 3 people in front of us who were probably about my brother's age, I would roughly say. Maybe a few years older. We're chit-chatting and saying something, and one of the guys told the girl she was an R slur because she messed up her makeup. She put it on like kind of wonky. And I made a face. My brother made a face, and the third guy who was facing the direction talking to the friends, so he would be facing our direction, saw that. Didn't like that we made the face. Didn't say anything. I said, you know what? I'm just going to let it be because it happens. We all make mistakes. We all make slip-ups, especially if we were in that culture that raised in that type of atmosphere where everyone else thought it was okay. It happens. Then the guy said, oh, isn't this the 2000s? We can say the R word. And I said, yeah, I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, if you want to say it, go say it in your fucking house. Go say it at your house. You don't need to say it here. You don't need to say it out loud in front of everybody, especially people with disabilities around you. He's like, well, I have disabilities, so I can say it. And I was like, yeah, say it in your own home. We don't need to hear it here. It's 2024. We're not regressing just because we're listening to oldies. Oldies. You know I'm old. It hurts. So they go inside. Well, actually, they don't go inside. He stands there and he's like, man, I'm so glad I can practice my whatever, like trying to contain himself. And I was like, are you not an adult? Are you not a grown person who knows how to handle themselves in this situation? Like, this is really what sets you off. If someone calls you out for saying a slur, get out of here. So we go inside, I grab water. My brother grabs a drink. We sit down. We're playing some like 70s funk, some 80s pop. one or two 90s songs, including Ice Ice Baby. Jack. Hey, baby boy. Hi, cuddles. I gotta do this. I'll cuddle you in a moment. And the band comes on, and they have some problems setting up. And I was like, well, okay. Wait for a little bit for them to set up. And then they go, and then you can't hear her. And when you do hear her, it's like the most monotone female singer I have ever heard. And while the energy is fun-ish, like the drummer was really the only thing really holding the band together. And when you don't have the vocal range, sorry that you want to be a cover band, but there's certain people you cannot be covering when you can't sing those octaves. And maybe she was trying to kind of make it her own, but there wasn't not much of an effort. So I really hope that, like, and I don't know if they're a newer band or not, but hopefully with some more practice, like I could definitely see her singing like a lower key Sheryl Crow or Fiona Apple. So like doing maybe an Indies 90 thing might be more to their speed. So after about 20 minutes and her dancing and not being able to sing and jump around on stage and play guitar is a little much. Crowd was a little much. So I said, you know what, let's go, drive around. We can listen to our own music and drive around for a bit. Maybe get some White Castle. It's in the frozen section. We don't have White Castle here. Or crystals. I love my crystals too. Same thing. As we're heading outside, everybody goes, hey, well, do you want to smoke first? Do you want to, vape? Vape first and see like if the feeling gets a little better or if maybe they get really into their groove. Maybe these songs are newer. And I was like, yeah, sure. And as we're inside the gate, so that way, you're allowed re-entry. On the outside of the gate is a couple standing there. And I couldn't tell at first about him, but she was definitely plastered, definitely partied, and was really excited about being there and probably went a little off the rails. And I didn't think anything of it. It happens. We all do it at one point or another. We all get that wasted and need help. And as we're there, I think she maybe said no, but it sounded more of a vocalization of a sound or like like, I don't know. It was a really odd sound she made. So it drew my attention. And as it drew my attention, he was walking away and he headed back inside and left her there. And then this poor girl's holding on to this fence as much as she can, this iron fence, to for her life. So I was like, all right, Jet, let's go see if we can talk to her. Let's see if, she'll allow us to hang out with her, because I didn't feel comfortable at that point leaving with nobody else outside but the guy who takes your money and stamps you at the door. Like, there was everybody, it's downtown Tacoma. It's not always the safest. It's fun at times, but it's not always the safest. So we walk out of the fence and I said, hey, do you mind? Is it okay if we stand with you while we wait? It's a little chilly and it's better if we just kind of stand together. She said, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't care. Just words, coolness, however. So we stood there and we just kind of made very light talk just to kind of gauge where she was at. She fell asleep on the fence and almost fell over. So I kind of held on to her. And my brother and I brought her back inside because it's way too cold outside. And we sat her at the bar and she kind of woke up a little bit more and we danced. I danced next to her. Just some music just to hopefully make her not feel judged, because I don't want her to feel judged for trying to enjoy herself and accidentally having one too many, because it happens, especially if you don't go out that often. Your tolerance drops. It's just how it is. And during this time, she kept telling me how mad he was going to be, that he was going to be mad. I was like, well, he can't be mad at you. Like, You made an effort. You tried, and things happen. You got turned. Like, it's life. They act like there's not going to be any more shows. That band plays 90s and 2000 covers, so there's plenty more shows. What Jackie? What Jackie? Hi, buddy. You can lay right there. We give you cuddles right there. Um, so I asked my brother to go up and go upstairs and try to find the guy. And he came back down. He said there's like 5 of the guys, and apparently there's a Tacoma look. I don't go out enough down there to know the Tacoma style, but there's a Tacoma look. And fortunately enough, he happened to come down just a minute or so after my brother did. And I kind of waved at him. I was like, hey, is this your girl? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right. I was like, you want to get her? I was like, I didn't want to leave her outside just hanging out there. He's like, yeah. And I was like, she seems chill. She's enjoying the show. And we let them be, and we hung out for a little bit, like, just to see kind of what was going on, if they were going to leave immediately, maybe to see if they needed help, because him walking down the stairs wasn't, yeah. Meow. So we go outside, and I wanted to let the door guy know, hey, they're really drunk. He's like, oh, we'll cut them off. I was like, yeah. And the bartender's already going to cut them off. You can tell, like, they've had too much. I said, but my concern is he's already left her once, and she keeps saying he's going to get mad. So I don't want to leave without knowing that she's going to be okay. And he said he'll keep an eye out. And I said, all right, thank you. I really appreciate it. Assuming that's what I would do when I work security. Someone comes up to me and I just keep an eye and just make sure that no one's getting taken advantage of or getting left behind in the situation. Jag! Told you, houseful animals. So my brother and I take a walk, and we walk to the car just a couple blocks away, and we get in the car, and I was like, you know what? I want to drive back by just to check the scene out. Lo and behold, they're already outside the fence. They're staggering down the road. He's having a very difficult time maintaining his and her balance, and they can't make it a few feet because she doesn't have any function in her body anymore. Like, she is gone. She is not feeling a thing. I hope she didn't wake up with a hangover the next day. I hope she didn't puke. And so I was like, you know what? Let me turn off my lights. Let me just kind of follow just to make sure they make it to wherever they're going to make it to. And lo and behold, a minute later, he sits her down in a planter and leaves. It's like, great. So I park the car, and I go out there with my brother, and we get a jacket on her, and we talk to her, and we kind of try to warm him up because it is freezing cold out there for her. Like, the wind chill was pretty bad. Sorry, I am like literally, I have a movie in my head when I recall things, so it's interesting seeing all the details again. So I asked her, I was like, hey, did he go and get the car? Like, or was he mad and left her? She's like, no, I went to go get the car. I was like, okay, cool. We're going to hang out with you again. It's just us from earlier. She's like, yeah, I know. I think, again, she said he's going to be mad or upset. And I said, no. Like, it happens. We're all humans. We all do this. The band's not that good anyway, so he didn't miss much. But once the car came around, I noticed there's 2 car seats, so she probably doesn't get out that often. So my brother and him, because thankfully we stayed because he definitely needed help getting her in the car, got her in the car. I think he buckled her. I hope he buckled her. And he said, thank you. And I said, listen, we're a community. This is what we're supposed to do. We help each other. We all make choices and we all make mistakes at times. There's nothing to be upset here. Like, she's just having a good time. Maybe you'll have a good time at home, hopefully, consensually. So my brother and I get back in our car and head to the 7-Eleven to get some fountain drinks and some White Castle. And there's no fountain drinks because there was no ice, which upset me. And at least there was White Castle, even though it was no cheese. I have cheese at home, thankfully. Oh, I forgot to buy my brother cheese. Sorry. Gotta buy you more cheese. I should have done that. We walk in and there's 4 teenagers. It's only like 10:30. Oh, maybe a little bit closer to 11, maybe 10:45. And yeah, we're dressed up, but we're not nothing too obnoxious. But just because we look a little different than them, which is their, cute poppy wet sip right now culture, which was hip, 1972. They just started busting out laughing, well, 2 of them. And the other ones looked to see what was so funny. And then they checked with them. And so, of course, my dramatic ass had to say, oh, what's so funny? I went in on the joke. I want to laugh. And they got really quiet and shut the fuck up and didn't say anything. And as I opened the freezer door, I looked to the left and one of the girls was staring at me. I was like, you didn't want to say the joke? You didn't want to talk? No? Oh, that's unfortunate. Like, I don't know. I just... It's Daddy! Stop. Hey, it's your daddy. Hey, Ziggy. Sorry. Daddy's here, okay? Give him a moment and he'll come inside. Wait for Daddy. It's the only way to get him to stop barking if they know it's Daddy. Or me, I guess. I'm never home to know. But I don't know. Even if you don't agree with what people look like or do, as long as they're not hurting children, hurting animals, hurting themselves in dangerous manners, who cares what other people look like or do, or like, for their enjoyment. Let me place that really quick. For their enjoyment, that doesn't hurt others. We don't need the slurs. We don't need remarks. We don't need the microaggressions towards other who we feel less than, even though we won't admit that we feel less than, or better than them. I might not say that right. Microaggressions to those who they feel better, and they don't admit that they feel like they're better than these people. That stuff just really gets under my skin. And maybe because, like, my mother's lessons would touch on, it's okay, I'm still alive, but it's okay. You're a human, you gotta live here too. It would touch on things of being tolerant and being accepting, and of like my sibling or those around me. But when I would try to do the right thing, I would get in trouble. I would get screamed at. I would get hit. I would get grounded. I would get, like, I know those things sound so simple, but like, your mother's constantly in your face screaming at you, like, it's harsh. When you can get smacked at any moment and you're flinching, or you try to pull away from a hit and you get hit worse. It was hard to understand those concepts. Like, it's very contradictory that you're going to teach me to be tolerant with violence. And that's another thing that, like, I don't get with religion, how you teach people through violence. That doesn't sound very accepting, but I don't want to, like, go deeply into that, because I do believe everyone has a right to believe in what they want to believe in and practice how they want to believe, as long as it doesn't hurt the main. But, like, this, I don't know how many times I've been abused because of religion, how many times my siblings have been abused because of religion, because you're supposed to be learning a lesson through this, or you're supposed to be tolerant through this. It really, it's a mind fuck. I think there's no other way to put it. That it's just a mind fuck. So kind of my week started off a little bit more harshly than I probably would have wanted it to, but I also have to find the worth or find the value or find the radical acceptance in it is that I'm no longer crying when I get that angry. And that's what I used to do with my mother. And then she'd call me an emotion, a baby. I'm a baby who can't handle her emotions and to stop fucking crying and whatever. But like, I didn't get super angry. I didn't pace. And while I may have been confrontational, yes, confrontational is a good word. With my words, like, they weren't threats. They weren't any, they were declarative statements of just hold yourself accountable. Just, if she does not like, God, it's such a conundrum because you don't have to apologize, but just take accountability that you did something wrong, But yeah, you should look at cart narcs. Like, it's annoying, but I always put my carts back. I always fix the carts too, because that's someone else's job who's doing a job you don't want to do. So why are you purposely making it more difficult when it's a job that you don't even want to do? You're literally not putting your own cart away. So that's kind of how I feel with the entitlement of, well, it's an open space. Well, nobody's using it. No one ever uses it, or nobody's here right now. Are you using it? Does it matter? Like, all of that is just bullshit excuses as to why you won't take accountability for saying, yeah, I fucked up. I did something wrong. What are you guys doing? Oh, I haven't fed them. Can you feed them?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till you're done, but I'll do it.
No, it'll calm them down a little bit. Sorry, guys, if you hear some microwave beeping and some crunchies. Hey, are you guys hungry? Oh, Ziggy's hungry. Do you want to eat some food? Go eat, Bowie. Yeah, there we go. I got a new car, so that's a plus. An all-electric 94. It's pretty snazzy. It's not my GTI, and it makes me a little sad, but my needs have changed, and I have to think outside of myself. Next week's my dad's birthday. That's a whole box of worms we haven't even unopened yet. I should probably I've made some notes, but it really is a love-hate relationship with my father. Whereas my mother, there's love for the very basic of what a mother is. There isn't respect there by any means at all. My father, when he was good, and when he was bad, it was terrible. It was awful, which probably leads me to believe he had BPD because of the traumas in his life as well. Especially not knowing who your father is. He was never told who his father was. Actually, I don't believe either of his siblings. I think they all have different fathers. No, I think him and his sister. It's okay. Thank you. All right, go eat your food. Go eat. Delivery truck. So much beeping. One day we'll get a house that will accommodate. Like I said, this is their house too, and they deserve a right to live, and they want to protect their house in the moment, so they can protect their house for the moment. I apologize for any loudness in headphones. It's crazy, seeing how much trauma is surrounded in our lives, and it is a circle, and it does repeat, and it's very hard to break. But once someone realizes everyone else wants to ignore it for some reason, or maybe just as difficult as it is to heal is as difficult it is to accept that you have to change everything about you because you are unhealthy. And maybe that's hard for people to grasp. Like it's hard for me to grasp conflicting messages. Maybe it's hard for others to grasp. And well, I can't see it that way. Others can't see the way that I'm viewing things because of how my trauma is. That it makes healing lonely, but you're not alone. You just haven't found your right circle of people to heal with. And that's something that I wish I would have really picked up a long time ago. I would have wasted a lot less time, but maybe would have found more strength and confidence to start healing earlier or be more aggressive earlier if I had the right support around me, which I'm sure this is all a process. I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels this way or has the same thought process or stories and is trying to figure it out for themselves, but we can't do it alone. Even though it feels lonely, it's such another mind fuck. Just like when you go to therapy, for those that have, and they tell you something and it clicks in your head like a light bulb. It really comes on. You're like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. And then you're doing like the Chris Griffin, what? Because you go, why the fuck didn't I realize that years ago? Why was that a concept I couldn't have grasped 10 years ago? Because I wasn't in the place to grasp it. It was probably staring me in my face, waking me up every morning, and I just couldn't accept it. Wait, I don't have my phone. I have a computer. Oh no, is it really? Oh, where's my calendar? I want to see my calendar. So this is totally going to be fun. Next Workbook Wednesday will be on my father's birthday. Boy, do I have something to look forward to. So I think what I'll do for next Wednesday is I will look at some interpersonal family drama pages and get some pointers out like I kind of did with my mother on her birthday. And yeah, that'll be the plan. Again, I know I left off kind of in the middle school range in talking and sharing. I think I'm going to go ahead and go through some pictures and maybe try to create some kind of timeline for middle school on, like the end of middle school. Or I just start with high school and find some core memory pictures where I can remember my feeling. I can remember the smell. I can remember what was going on, hearing all the voices that were going on around or not around, or there's the yelling, whatever it may be. To really highlight like things that molded me that I don't think other people realize molded me. And a lot of it has to do with like words. Just words hurt. And we remember words at a young age. And those words stick. And that's why we always have to work on what now? Embracing your worth. And what they want you to do? Write good things on sticky notes, on your mirror. Take pictures of good motivational quotes you find on Pinterest or TikTok, whatever's the cool thing. I sound like a boomer. Actually, the picture that's up, the thumbnail is me in 10th grade. My 20-year reunion is next month. And I'm actually, I think about 20% of me is bummed that I won't be able to go because there are certain people that I would like to reconnect with. 20% of me is bummed not to go because there are certain people I'd like to make my stance with on how they make me feel, confront some things, so that way I know that I did have value back then, which might not be proper healing. 10% of me is bummed because it would have been an opportunity to go by myself to my father's grave now that I've gone with family and try to make some kind of resolution. But the other 50% of me is actually quite happy that I don't have to make the trip back to Florida. It looks like some people have not changed, and that's very disheartening and sad because we're supposed to change. We need to change from 20 years ago. It'll be a lot of emotional drama that I'm not ready to handle yet. A lot of shame and guilt going back there that I also have worked really hard on shedding that cloak while I still put it on from time to time. I'm not ready to confront or like tear it up or burn it, whatever you want to say. I'm not ready for doing any of that. So it's definitely a double-edged sword. But this is what social media is for. Even though I'm very much an organic person to a point, there's definitely times where I don't want to be around people. But I would much rather meet in person and speak than speak over the phone or even video chat, because it's hard to keep my attention for too long. But I also have trauma around every time the phone rang or later on in life when I was in another country. Anytime the Skype rang, it was dread and trepidation and fear. I don't know if I say dread and fear, like, I don't know. It was heavy. And I knew at the other end of the line, I was going to get scolded. I was going to get a lesson. I was going to get yelled at. I was going to get frustrated with. And I didn't want to experience that. I don't want to hear those tones, especially when I can't see your face from other people. So I do have those options, and it's something that not fine. I have no internet. And it's back on. Sorry, guys. I just lost internet for a second. So I think I will possibly reach out to certain people. Get your toy. Good boy. Good boy. I also have to make sure that I'm not doing it for the reasons of just like making my guilt neutral that I have over my own self or lack of things that I couldn't control. I do carry a lot of guilt for things that I feel like I could control, which are absolutely out of my control. So I want to make sure I reach out for strictly unbiased reasons. Maybe there might be a person I might reach out to and just be straight with it, but we'll see. We'll see what does Stormy really want? What's really gonna make it better for Stormy? Is it really worth saying her piece? Because she's never been able to say her piece because it's always been met with violence. And now it will not be. And you know that, so you are very much in speaking your piece. Things like that, I want to just check in on, and while I might think it's okay in my head, it's probably absolutely not socially acceptable and normal people. Tend not to hold on to certain things. So I don't know. Always things to process, always things to look up. Yes, Batman, I'm sorry. I will say someone asked about some of the stuff I have in the background. Some of it's quite obvious. Lots of books, lots of little figurines. Got Kingdom Hearts over here. My cows are speckled throughout everywhere. Bowie, my husband and I, our fathers who have passed. My random collection of stuffed animals, including Care Bears, Figment, Spacemen, dinosaurs, cows. I love my cows, if you didn't know. Howdy. Books. Lots of books. The artwork I'll probably talk about at another time, just because I'm really proud of some of this artwork back here. Maybe not the one that I painted, but some of the other ones that we've commissioned. I have a pin board, and everything up top is Pluto, because Pluto is my dog. And I have a bunch of random pins for things that I like, that speak to me, that I just never grew up out of. I do have my dog Maggie. I have my dog Sydney. And all of these are, besides the Pluto, are the Blacklight Pops. I am missing a few that I would like to add to the collection. I don't think any more than 5, but those are my black lights. It's really cool in here. I've got stuff hanging up on the ceiling. I've got I don't know. It's just my comfort zone. Things that I'm proud of. Things I collect. I don't know. Things that show you, like, I ain't no normal bitch. I'm not a basic bitch. I'm not a beige bitch. But I am a bitch who is actually probably pretty exhausted, which is why we're spiraling into this inconsistent loophole of talking. So I'm probably going to go ahead and end it. It actually is roughly about the same time than my other streams. So that's good, because like I said, I don't have feedback. It's another dog. It's another dog. You can close that window. Sorry, someone walked their dog by our yard. Usually those in the neighborhood know not to do that, because my dogs act like assholes. They want to play, but they, yeah. Very much the poodle behavior comes out when they're in the house. Outside the house, they have no idea what they're doing. So I'm glad they're about an hour. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing quite yet. I haven't had any direct feedback on that. If I need to make them shorter, like maybe 30 minutes, which means I'd probably need to do this a little bit more often so I can feel more comfortable and confident. But I also feel like that's very scary, because how can I fit so much in 30 minutes? But that's life, right? We have to figure out where the boundaries are. That's something I always say in my job. Like, I'm good knowing the rules, but I want to know the real rules. I want to know what you're actually going to make people follow, not what's just in the book, because I've never met a boss who's actually followed every rule in the book. And it's frustrating then when they call you out on doing something. I don't like that. That's a conflicting ideal in my head. So either be one way and be lax, or be super not lax and uptight. Just let me know. Anyways, it's my husband's day off. We're going to watch something. What are we going to watch?
We want to watch Pearl.
Oh, Pearl. My Paramount expired, and I don't want to re-up it. It doesn't work well. It's crap. The app is crap. Did we want to do Glass since we watched Split again last night?
Sure.
I don't know. I'll see about Glass. We'll see. See how my brother feels. I might be in for something more campy. Ooh, Biodome. Hey, we got a winner. Yeah, I'm cheesy as fuck. Sorry, guys. Anyways, enjoy. I think if I pop on again, it'll be random and we'll just keep scheduling. I will make sure I will put on a schedule. It may vary from time to time, but I'll make sure I always have a scheduled out live stream if I can make it work this time. I couldn't make it work earlier, so that's why I created a new stream, but I'm going to try to schedule a stream and actually have it work. Thank you again for listening, for viewing, for, I don't know, being my little cheerleader. Rah, rah. Thank you for letting me speak and be on here. Thank you for just accepting things as they are. And remember, we're going to embrace our worth and to invest in some good smells for our comfort and our calmness. Because the biggest thing is you want to feel safe and you want to make that area your safe space, my safe space. So with that, I wish you well for the rest of the week. I wish you an uneventful time, because that's the best that we can hope for, is that things are just even keeled. We don't want to go on the crazy roller coaster all the time. So